Welcome to another edition of the Glittery Bones of Advertising. I'm Craig McLeod and I'm joined by three other people today. Nice to see you all.
Good to be here.
Nice to see you. Oh, and we've got a doggo joining us as well.
We do.
What the hell?
You want to say hi, Fred?
Oh, it's all Stinky. Hello, mate. Oh, boy.
He looks very unkempt, but he has been recently groomed. Say hi, Fred.
Very nice.
He's just chatting
about it. He's just watching.
Federico.
Yeah.
Watching his ball outside.
Well, squirrel.
What?
Okay, Gabs. Well, I'm going to pass to you just to intro us in to take a look at a couple of pieces of ad.
Amazing. Thank you, Craig. So this week I thought I would shake it up a little bit in the interest of the hardest questions in advertising. I'm doing segment 1 similarly as well. And I wanted to show you both two ads, show you all two ads that ran during the Super Bowl this year by a streaming company named Tubi. So without further ado, here are the two pieces from Tubi.
Welcome back to Super Bowl 57 so far, Greg. The game going like you expected?
Yeah, and so far these teams, they've really
Okay, well, I'm going to kick off straight away. The first one, to me, I actually had to watch it a second time to go, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to the ad? And it frustrated the hell out of me. It really did annoy me that all of a sudden, I mean, like, this, what? Foxtel? No. Tubi? Like, what? Yeah, it lost me. Whereas the rabbit hole one, oh, gosh, have we got some people that I know who head down rabbit holes, not looking at anyone in particular.
That's you.
That's you. So I guess my question though is, like I found them both really interesting and for different reasons. I think they're both really attention grabbing, but they've, I guess, grabbed your attention in a very different way. And Craig, I could kind of sense already from your response that ad number 2 with the rabbit hole is definitely your preferred approach.
Yeah,
CARO, what did you think?
The first one, so the like interrupting one, gave me vibes of the Mosh did it when they were like, no blokes, there's nothing wrong with your TV, when it like freezes, which I think is a really interesting concept. And even reading the comments on it as well, like there were people being like, I thought I sat on the control. I was yelling at my wife because I couldn't find the control and I thought I was missing it. So I think it worked really, really well. And the same, I kind of watched it twice being like, okay. And then the second one with the rabbit hole, that rabbit was like so ominous. I was like, where's my like friendly rabbit? Who is this evil guy that I thought was like guy, girl, non-binary, gender fluid rabbit who was like almost collecting people to go and sacrifice them? Like it was very dark, but again, like exceptionally well done and really kind of attention grabbing, but in a different way. I think out of the two of them, though, the first one is the one that I would give the gold medal to, just because it was so short, but it was so effective. Like, you just, yeah, I think it was brilliant. It was really well done. What about you, JD?
I am. I'm trying to find a positive about the first one. I don't mean to be a curmudgeon, but it's one of those ideas that raises its head every 5 or 10 years, and it seems fresh because we haven't seen it in 5 or 10 years. But they weren't the guys from the broadcast. No matter where you were watching it, they weren't the guys from the broadcast. And I think if an ad really frustrates someone, it doesn't make them feel good about the brand.
Yeah.
The second one, absolute second one, I think is could go down as one of the great ads if they take the rabbit and turn it into something of a mascot for people who like to prevaricate and waste time. I like the idea that it's a little bit sinister because I'm wasting time. Like, it seems like a bad thing to do. So the fact we've got this evil, it's like, oh no, the bunny made me do it. You know, I think there's something really sort of, it's cute, but it's not. So I really liked it. I mean, I love rabbit holes, so, you know, a bit of a walk-up start for me. But I thought from a Super Bowl perspective, I've never seen anything like it. It entertained me. It was like, where's this going? Like, is this a movie? Is this like all of a sudden it was like I knew it was an ad, but I was prepared to suspend my disbelief long enough to go, I see what you've done. I see what you've done. I think they spent all their budget on the rabbit, not on the rabbit hole, but that's a different question altogether. But I really liked the second one. The first one, as I said, I just sort of, I feel like you can't frustrate me into liking you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just thought it just missed a trick there. That was all. But the second one, rabbit, just give me more of that. I reckon they could turn that rabbit into something really quite special. There you go.
Okay.
Right, you go.
Hung jury, because I prefer at number one.
It's a girl versus guy thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yeah, as a girl, I'd be like, I'd want to turn the Super Bowl off as well. So maybe that's why it kind of like spoke to me. Anyway, sorry.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you on that. And also, I think the rabbit one, as much as I love it and it's great storytelling, I think the best way during programming of that type is short, sharp, and effective. Like, I don't know, I'm not an avid, Super Bowl fan, but I don't know that they would be, heavily invested in watching the ads or feeling like that long drawn out storytelling in that point in time. So I felt like ad number one was stronger in terms of a quick, sharp, effective way to actually grab your attention and show the brand and then move forward so that they can get back in. And it did caused quite an uproar on social media as well. So it actually did have some afterlife. But I hear what you're saying about the rabbit, and they are doing that. If you go onto their website and their YouTube channel, the rabbit's sort of everywhere, and they're running with that tagline of find rabbit holes you didn't know you were looking for. So I think that is the extension of that campaign for sure.
Yeah, I think the Super Bowl is different. I think people look for great ads. Like, because it's become this, right. It's become this thing where people are like, they're actually watching for the ads.
Yeah.
I don't know, at the Tide ad. Remember the Tide ad from about 5 years ago? It's a Tide ad. The first one they did, like the very first time they showed it, was a minute, I think, 45 seconds or a minute. Like, it was a long ad.
I think a lot of Super Bowl ads along. They definitely run a bit over the standard format.
Well, yeah,
I'm
it
glad
costs so
they're
much
using the
money
rabbit.
to run them
Yeah.
as well, which is probably an interesting angle too. Like, which one gave more bang for their buck? The first one would have cost all of
$4.
not a lot, perhaps, whereas the
Sure,
second
what
one
an
they would
iPhone.
have invested. They would have invested a lot more in bunny suits and all of this,
Yeah.
you know, the visual effects, and even buying the ad time of a minute versus 15 seconds. It's it's an interesting play. They've kind of gone both ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah, I love it if they're extending the rabbit. I think there's something really quite. This just because it's like it's cute, but it's maybe
It's not cute at all, JD. That thing was so
Ominous.
scary. So
Yeah, but you
scary.
can imagine little fluffy giveaway toys for the kiddies. You know.
Here's the evil rabbit that
Great
will
use
come
of
in.
cues. I really feel it's added that component that just gives the extendability of it. You know, if they can really run with that rabbit, as Gabs is saying they are, you know, it really does tick that box of the memorability, you know, something to remember.
He does look a
Yes.
lot cuter in static format. I will give you that. He looks a little bit cuter in static. So
Okay, well, I do believe we have a question to ponder.
Ooh,
we
yes,
do. We have a would you
pondering.
rather.
Would you
I love
rather eat potato chips
So
or
my
drink?
would you rather, or the hardest
Yes.
question in advertising for this
Mm.
week is, would you rather work exclusively on brand campaigns, being brand building, brand awareness, or product sales focused campaigns that are much more about driving sales for the rest of your career? You can't jump ship.
Ooh. Can I go first?
Sure.
Of course you can.
I think this is, I'm going to try and be black and white here.
Okay.
Go Pies.
I have advice. Yes, I reckon the hard bit. They're both really hard. Like I reckon the hard bit about working with brand advertising, only working on brand advertising, is dealing with these 17,000 layers of shit at the client end that you've got to go through to get them to do a single-minded brand building campaign. Like, it's frustrating. Look, I'm only 23, but look at this hair. Like, it's just, it just can't. Like, it's just so frustrating. Whereas an ad that is supposed to sell stuff, like it's a lot more. See this is going to sell that. Like,
yeah.
So from a day-to-day mental health perspective, I'd go with the retail thing, and I quite like retail. I like the one of my favourite ads ever was this picture of a snowscape with one ski mark and a boot next to it. So someone's obviously skied along with a boot, and it just had 50% off skis, and then it's so that's so funny. Like, that's hilarious. Like, let's do more of that. So I love that. Yeah, I'm going to go retail.
Okay.
Retail. Smash
Nice.
it out. And a new bit of fun every week.
Caro, what about you?
For me, I'm the same as JD. I would go the product sell. I think it gives you more opportunity to test the limits and have more fun. You've got a shorter run time for the creative or the campaign that you're doing. I think as well, it's easier, to stretch the boundaries, but also get perhaps funner or more exciting ideas over the line. I think that you can also chop and change much more. Whereas I think when you're thinking about holistic brand, it's probably more kind of contained and much more considered, and it has a longer kind of run time. And I don't know, I think you just get more bang for your buck, and you can have more fun with it, and you can see perhaps more numeric results on like how the campaign's gone, how many units have been sold, or what the uptake's been. I think it would give you more kind of excitement. You get to chop and change between. So it would be, product sell for me. How about you, Pot?
Oh, look, I think it's the bravery of brand campaigning that really appeals to me. I think, that there's not a whole bunch of organizations brave enough to do brand campaigns. They really might start as brand campaigns and then end up being tactical because the client, wants to sell 650 air conditioners, off the back of the brand campaign. So for me, it's definitely the brand campaign because of the strategic aspect of brand as well. And I'm, looking down at Johnny and I guess you two as well here on the aspect of what makes brand campaigning so exciting is you really have to understand the brand to be able to campaign it.
Yep.
You really have to have a solid foundation to be able to take it to market. You really need to know your brand story. And if you get all of that right, then the art of building this brand story into however we manifest it, whether it's a still or a visual or a movie or whatever we decide it's going to be, I feel that would just keep me going. Although, as you all know, I am the salesperson. I love selling. Like, that is my thing. But yeah, contrary to that, I love the brand side of it. Like, I just, and the more I talk to people smarter than me about brand, I just love it more and more and more and more and more. Yeah.
Great, you guys.
That's another hung jury. I'm with Craig on this one. I agree with all of your comments on product sell, but I would selfishly go for brand advertising because I feel like there would be an opportunity to make something that would be iconic and memorable. As you rightly said, CARO product campaigns, although there still are some very, very memorable ones, knowing that you could come up with Just Do It and that could be around for, however many years would be thrilling and exciting to me.
Different, like one of our favorites, think different.
That's hilarious.
A little tweak on the old Apple one for Aldi, but I do love like that. You're right. Those little aspects, the burgers are better or I'm loving it or whatever those aspects of that are. But I think the customer aspect is one thing we kind of haven't touched on. And I feel there's different levels of customer involvement in the brand side versus, the tactical activation of a campaign as well. Like, really getting quite granular in trying to understand who the market is, ensuring you're building the brand, that's going to work and going to connect with that market as well. And then the other side is what component of the market from a segment point of view we're trying to target with this particular product at this particular time. Like, both exciting, but yeah, really good question. I really enjoyed that one. When I saw it came through, I'm like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. It's harder to sell if you don't have a brand.
Yes, you kind of need to have the brand, whether you can afford a brand campaign or whether you do a brand campaign. You really do need to have the foundations of the brand, don't you, to do the tactical. I just think
it makes it easier because the brief becomes tighter. It's
clearer.
We're selling 90 runners. And you've got to it's got to fit in with Just Do It. Like, you can't just tag a brand line on the end. So
yes,
that's what I kind of like about the product sell aspect, though, as well. Like, you have to understand the brand, and it's almost like the troubleshooting and putting the pieces of the puzzle together of like, this is the brand, but how do we extend that, or how do we talk to a particular person taking this and kind of meshing it into something? So I think that's probably a key part of it as well for me for the product sell, is how can we take this amazingness or this idea or this overarching kind of brand feel, and how can we bring it down and talk to specific people? So yeah.
Okay, hung looks like some working on brand, some work, which is good, isn't it? Some working on the stuff.
Perfect balance.
It'd give us something to do in Antarctica, Craig, wouldn't we?
Mate, you and I have got plenty to do with the polar bears and the penguins down here. But that, my friends, is another edition of the Bones of Advertising with lots of glitter on it. Don't think that I'm not remembering that there's like the glitter sprinkled all over, like a little bit of magic dust. Don't go changing. We'll see you next week for another episode.
Lovely to see you all.
Bye.